Now, Representative Ocasio-Cortez called out Representative Steve King on Wednesday after King shared a photo from a migrant detention center that he claimed proved she had spread fake news about the conditions. And that would be, of course, the picture that you see on my sidebar right now. Sans the human toilet. I added that. I think it's, I think it was obvious. But anyway, so now AOC, she slams King video on Twitter where it showed him basically drinking out of a fountain, a drinking fountain connected to a toilet, right? So now she said this: there's a genre of videos where GOP House members who clearly didn't read sworn testimony that detention sinks were broken, filming themselves drinking out of toilet sinks. They're so anti-immigrant, they risk pink eye to show off that they didn't do the reading. So this was a response, of course, to this tweet from Steve King. He said, no way was AOC objectively honest in her fake news spin about the border. Clickbait for snowflakes. They got her. No, you didn't. Again, this is not in the report. This is it's clearly a water fountain that he's drinking out of, not a toilet bowl, and which they said the toilet bowl was in the reports. Let me give you more context about this, right? So during a visit to the southern border back in July, AOC said that she was told by detainees that they were specifically told that the water fountains were broken. You know, those fountains on top of the toilet, broken, doesn't work. So that the personnel had suggested that they drink from the toilet bowl itself. That is not the same thing as saying, oh, I'm drinking from the fountain. No, that's not the same thing. They said, drink from the toilet bowl. Now, I'd love to see Steve King do that. But he doesn't. Because, look, Steve King is a disingenuous piece of crap. That's what he is. Now, he also claimed in a town hall in Iowa that he had actually went to that cell where it was reported that migrants were advised that they had to drink out of the toilet. He said, quote, I took a drink out of there, and it's actually pretty good. Note, he didn't drink from the toilet. In fact, he said later on, it's not drinking out of the toilet, it's drinking out of the water fountain that's integral with the back of the toilet. Well, then, you didn't disprove anything AOC said. But he's like, got her. Nailed it. Nailed what? The fact that you're a moron? I guess. No, dude. Why don't you actually drink from the toilet and then see how that ends up for you? I'm actually curious to see that. I would love to see that. Or maybe how about you spend some time in a cage after being forced from your home by violence, poverty, or corruption? Okay? Oh, right. That'll never happen because Steve King is lucky enough to have been born white and become incredibly wealthy as a congressman. See, this is why he cannot ever be able to empathize with anyone. This guy thinks he's some sort of victim, by the way. What are you a victim of, Steve? What are you a victim? What's a snowflake here? Looks like you. No, Steve King's disgusting. Let me tell you what. You know what? Can we trade Steve King for a bunch of migrants? I would much rather have them than Steve King. People like him. Maybe they're right when they say, oh, liberals just want to replace people, right? You know what? Yeah, I actually do. I want to replace the racists and xenophobes with migrants. Yeah. I'll make that trade any day. You know why? Because it'll actually make this country better to not have the racists in it. They can go off to their own place while we actually, respect the ideals of America. I mean, look at AOC, right? The difference between these politicians, right? So AOC represents all people. She wants to represent everyone, even people who hate her, even people who, say the most vile things about her. She wants to help them. She wants to allow them to have a cleaner world, no pollution, right? Better pay, better jobs. That's what AOC wants. Even for the people who send death threats and rape threats her way, she wants to help everyone. Who does Steve King want to help? Steve King only wants to help a very small, hateful minority of people who feel aggrieved that somebody, at someone who looks different, that actually wants to experience the American dream. That's who Steve King is. He is a disgusting piece of anti-American trash, and I would gladly trade him for 1,000 migrants.